Hey runners, welcome to episode 7 of the Stretch and Stability series. Okay, let's jump into it. So to start, we're just going to come into a kneeling position. And then with the right leg, we're just going to bring the right leg out to the side. And then I want you to find this position where you've got the ankle directly below the knee. So you either need to walk the foot in or walk the foot out. And just find a position where you've got the ankle directly below the knee. We then want to keep the hips facing forwards and try and find a soft engagement through the glutes. We're then just going to move out to the side. So think about driving your right knee over your right foot, pushing out to the side, and we're just working a little bit into hip external rotation, and then we can come back up. Okay, so we're just getting these little pulses, trying to keep the hip forwards, or trying to keep the body facing forwards as we pulse out to the side. We'll do 10 of these, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, really try and drive the knees over the toes or the knee over the toes. 6, keep the glutes on. 7, 8, keep the hips forward. We'll do 10, 9, and last one, 10. Good. Let's go over to the other side. So we're bringing the left leg up. And we've got the foot rotated out to the side. Remember, we want the ankle to be below the knee. We want to keep the hips facing forwards. And then we're just going to drive the knee over the toes for 1, keeping the glutes active. 2, 3, 4, keep the chest forwards. 5, drive the knee over the toes. 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, hopefully you're feeling that opening through the hips, and the last one is going to be 10. Good. Now we're going to go into some half frogs. So, starting in a quadruped position, you're just going to bring one leg out to the side, and then we're trying to have that leg following the same plane as the hips. So we don't want to be with the foot back behind here, we want to try and keep that leg up. And if you can't achieve that, that's fine. Just try and bring that foot as far up as possible. And then with this leg, we want to try and have the foot in line with the knee behind us. Hands are on the floor. And then in this position here, we're trying to pull the chest up. And then we're just going to push the bum back. And we're just going to rock forwards and backwards. And what I want you to feel here is like you're trying to push the foot away from you. So like you're trying to reach for something over to the side with your right foot. And then what I also want you to think about is keeping the weight over to the right. So try not to lean over this way, keep the weight more into the right, and then we're just pulsing back and forth in this position. Okay, so we're just opening up through what's called abduction in the hip, where we're getting the hip lifted up out to the side. And you can really try to activate your glutes as you push back, trying to keep the chest upright, so trying not to round like this. And then we're just going to hold in this back position here. So pushing the bum back, trying to pull the chest up, and we're just going to hold here. So in terms of where we want our weight, we don't want to be tilting over to the left. So with the foot out to the right, try and lean a little bit into the right side. So a little bit into the right hand. And remember that sensation that I spoke about of feeling like you're trying to push the foot out to the side. And that's going to deepen the stretch through the adductors or the adductors, the inner thigh. Okay, so just holding here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go over to the other side. So the right knee is going to come down onto the floor. Remember, we want a tracking of the knee, like the ankle to be below the knee here, and then we want to have the left leg out to the side, and we want to have the foot in line with the knee here. We then want to pull the chest up, and feeling like you're reaching over to the side, we're just going to pulse back and forth, trying to find that activation through the glutes as we do this. So we're just releasing the inner thigh through what's called hip abduction, pushing the bum back. So some of you might find it hard to fully lift the chest up. You might be a little bit more rounded. Just try your best to create that extension through the spine, to open up the spine here. And over time, you're going to get into that nice upright position. Good, let's find that position with the bum all the way back And then we're trying to keep the chest upright. We're trying to keep the weight a little bit into the left hand, and then we're reaching out to the side with the left foot, or just thinking about that sensation. We don't want to rotate the foot out to the side, so make sure that foot is forwards. So even though you're reaching over to the side, try and keep the foot facing forwards. And we're just going to hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the knees back in. And then we're going to go back to that first exercise we did where we're working on external rotation, but we now want to go a little bit deeper into this. So we'll bring the foot out to the side, and whereas before we had the ankle below the knee, we're just going to inch out to the side just a touch more, maybe about 1 foot extra. And now we're going to deepen that external rotation. So keeping the hips facing forward, and try to keep the knee back as we then drive the knee over the toes and then coming back. You can have your hands on your hips, keep the hips facing forwards, drive the knees or the knee over the toes. 2, let's do 10 of these. 3, if this range is too much for you, just keep the ankle where it was before or where it was in the first exercise. 3, this is 5, 6, keep the chest forwards, keep the activation in the glutes. 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and last one, 10. Good, let's go over to the other side. So bringing the left leg out to the side, and now we're just walking that foot a little bit further over to the side, about 1 foot's distance. And then from here, we want to keep the knee back behind us. We want to keep the chest forwards. Hands can be on the hips. And we're just pulsing out to the side for 1, 2, 3. So you should really be feeling this through the hips. Hopefully getting a nice release. 4, 5, 6. Really try and get the knee to come over the toes, over the ankle. 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and last one, 10. Good. We're going to come back to our half frog, so into the quadruped position, so on your hands and knees, bringing the right leg out to the side, so you've got the foot in line with the knee here. And then we're putting the chest up, and then we're just going to go straight into that hold and try and just go a little bit further back this time, shifting the weight over to the right. And we're just going to hold here, and after this hold, we're going to try to roll the foot back, okay? Some of you won't be able to roll it all the way back, but you're just going to try and roll it back as much as you can, and that's just going to go a little bit more into the hamstrings. So let's just do 10 more seconds here. And remember that sensation like you're trying to reach over to the side, and make sure your weight isn't over to the left here. We want to stay a little bit more over to the right. And then from here, we're just going to try to roll the foot back. And we're feeling that external rotation in the hip. And the challenge here is, can you do this without rounding the spine? Can you roll the foot back with a nice upright position? Okay? Don't worry if you're just here. That's totally fine. We can look to improve that range over time. Okay, let's do 10 more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, let's bring the knee onto the floor. Let's bring the left foot out to the side now. And then just starting with that regular half frog position is cool. We're pushing back, shifting the weight a little bit into the left, and then feel like you're reaching over to the side. Okay, let's hold here. And in a moment, we're going to rotate the foot back, just like we did on the right. And as you do that, you're trying not to round in with the spine. Okay, you're trying to keep everything the same and just roll the foot back. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to roll the foot back and try to stay nice and upright. You should be feeling that rotation through the hips. You should be feeling a little bit more into the inner hamstring. Okay, so whereas before we were into the back of the hamstring. Whereas before we were in the inner thigh, we're now going into the back of the hamstring. So just holding here, pushing the bum back, trying to stay nice and upright with the chest. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, so we're going into a calf stretch, but to start, we're just going to fold forwards from a standing position. So with the feet shoulder width, we're going to fold the arms, and then we're just going to allow the body to roll forwards, keeping the legs nice and straight. Don't worry if you don't go down as far as I am here, but we want to be nice and heavy with the upper body. So allow the upper body just to relax, and then from here, we're just going to twist side to side to get a nice release through the QL, so through the outside of the lower back in this muscle called the quadratus lumborum. And just twisting side to side, allow the upper body to be nice and heavy. And then we can come back to center and just take some nice gentle pulses here. And then we're just going to bring the hands down onto the floor. Now, if you need to bend the knees to bring the hands onto the floor, that's totally fine. And then you're just going to walk the hands forwards. And then from here, we're just going to push up through the shoulders, and we're just going to drive one heel down to the floor at a time. So just getting a nice stretch into the calf. And if this is too easy for you, you can just walk the hands further forwards. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to place the right foot on top of the left heel and just drive the left heel down to the floor. And in this position here, we're trying to keep the weight shifted into the feet. So keep the weight shifted into your left foot. And really try and drive the heel down to the floor. Now if your foot, or your heel comes straight down to the floor, you can just walk the hands further forward. So some of you might have great flexibility in your calf, and your heel might just come straight down to the floor, in which case just walk the hands further forward and then try and push back into the feet or into that one foot that's on the floor. And we're just going to do 10 more seconds here. Try and be nice and long with your spine. So try not to round in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Onto the right side, I'm just going to show a slightly easier position. So walk the feet in a little bit and driving the heel down to the floor. And using that other leg just to pull the heel down to the floor. So sort of putting some load onto the right leg, shifting the weight into the back foot. So in this case, my heel is down to the floor, so I might want to just shuffle back a little bit more so that heel isn't touching the floor, keeping the leg nice and straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then both feet down on the floor, and again, just alternating, pressing one heel down to the floor at a time. And then we're going to find that initial position again. So from here, just walk the hands back in. Allow the knees to bend if you need them to bend. We're going to fold the arms, and we're just going to hold here and just pulse up and down very gently. If you do feel more comfortable here with a slight soft bend in the knees, that's totally fine. And then we're just going to sway side to side. So more of a tilting motion rather than just rocking side to side. We want to feel that we're twisting side to side, like you're turning a steering wheel. Good. Hands come back down onto the floor. Don't worry if you need to bend your knees. Walk the hands forward again into a down dog position, and then make sure you're pushing up through the shoulders and then alternating by pressing one heel down to the floor at a time. Good. We're then going to place the right foot on top of the left heel, drive the heel down to the floor. Remember, you can increase the intensity by walking the hands further forward or walking the feet back. Make sure that the weight is shifted into that back foot, and really try and drive that heel down to the floor, using the other leg to add a bit of load, add a bit of force. Good. To the other side. Left foot on top of the right, drive the heel down to the floor. Good, and then back to both feet, alternating, pressing one heel down to the floor at a time. Good, and then from here we're just going to walk the hands back in, and then we're just going to lower down into a rush squat, so where we've got the feet nice and close together. We're going to drop the knees down to the floor, and then we're just going to come back to that toe stretch that we visited earlier in the series. So leaning back, getting a nice deep stretch through the toes, and just holding here to finish our section on the lower limb, so on the area just below the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So coming into a quadruped position, what I mean by this is you're just on your hands and knees. And we're going to be going into a bird dog, but first I just want to start by understanding the feeling of extending the hips. So just starting with the left side, extend the leg back behind you, and then trying not to collapse with the lower back. We're just going to try and lift that leg up. Okay, and we're just going to hold there and really try to stay more neutral with the spine, and then come down. We'll just do 5 reps here. So that's 1, 2, and try not to rotate the hips. You'll know you're rotating the hip if your leg kind of turns out like this, and you'll feel that from the foot. So we want to try and stay in. We're activating the glutes as we lift. 4, and then last one, 5. Good. Let's go over to the right side, extending the leg back behind you. Also think about pointing your toes as you do this, really trying to stay neutral with the spine, not dumping. Okay, let's go. Let's lift. 1, activate the glutes, and down. 2, 3, 4, and last one, lifting up for 5. Good. Okay, come back into the quadruped position, so you're on your hands and your knees. And then applying a similar feeling with the hips, you're going to reach forward with the left hand and extend back with the right foot. So we'll just start with that. So in this quadruped position, I'm going to reach forward with my left hand and then extend back with my right foot. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to go on the other side. Reaching forwards, extending back, and trying not to collapse with the spine. So try and avoid dumping in like this. Try and stay nice and engaged through your core. So that's 4 reps. Let's go to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. So we're going to go into a side plank. So the side plank is going to challenge the outside of the core, so into the obliques. Really crucial for creating stability, which is also crucial when you're running. So in the side plank, we're going to go into a bent elbow position. So coming onto your mat, we're going to bend the elbow, and then we're just going to drive the hips up. So this is the tension point we want here. We want to try and activate into the obliques. And then I want you to just have the top foot either resting on the bottom foot, or it can be slightly behind. Now what we're looking for here is to try and keep an engagement through the glutes and try and pull the shoulders back and down and lift the hips up nice and high. And we're just going to hold in this position here. So we'll hold here for about 20 seconds. And you're really trying to keep the engagement through the glutes. If we're collapsing this way, we're not going to get that true activation into the core. And really trying to lift the hips up here. Try and control and maintain the breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop down to the floor. I then want you to spin round and come onto your bums, and then hands behind you. So we've got a little bit of shoulder extension here, and we're just going to drive the hips up here and squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then just engage the glutes in this reverse plank position. This is a great position because whilst you're challenging your core, you're also working on a little bit of extension with the shoulders. Don't worry if you can't get that full extended position. If you're down here a little bit, totally fine. Just work to try and activate by squeezing the shoulder blades together. If you work at a desk, this is a really good position for you. If you think about rounding into the desk during your day, you want to try and go against that and try and squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then stop there. Good. We're going to go over to the other side on the side plank. So just spin yourself round, and then we've got a bent elbow, and then that foot's on the floor. The other foot can be on top of the foot or can be slightly behind, and then we're lifting the hips up. Really important here to get that activation through the glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then just holding here, trying to lift the hips up as high as possible. Think about keeping the hips forward. We don't want to rotate back like this. We're trying to activate more into the obliques. And we're going to hold here for 20 seconds. Keep it up, guys. Keep the hips nice and high. Lift up. Keep the glutes on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Good. Okay, let's go back to our bird dog. So coming into a quadruped position. So on your hands and your knees. And then we're going for those extensions or finding that sensation of reaching forward and reaching back. So let's go for left hand, right foot. Reach forward and reach back. Trying not to collapse with the spine. And we can move a little bit faster now. Also just try to be conscious of where your hip position is. We don't want to rotate out to the side. Try and stay nice and linear and grounded in this motion. Good. Okay, we're going to go for 10 reps. So coming into 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. Okay, just take a little rest in this quadruped position, and we're soon going to go into the side plank. Okay, so from here, we're just going to come over onto the side, keeping the elbows bent, and then driving the hips up. We can either have one foot on top of the other, or the foot behind. Really try and drive the hips up, glutes engaged, shoulders back and down, and holding in this position here. Also, just make sure that you're not with the shoulder behind the elbow. We want to have that shoulder above the elbow. And we're just going to hold here 10 more seconds. 5, 4, hips up high. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop down. Okay, hands come behind you. We're going to go into our reverse plank. Just take a little rest from that side plank. And remember, in this position, we're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest, but whilst maintaining that activation through the glutes. So let's go. Let's drive the hips up, shoulder blades together, glutes on, and we're just going to hold here. Let's get to 30 seconds here. Remember, if you're down here, if you're not where I am, I've got good mobility in my shoulders. If you're just here, that's totally fine. Just try to think about squeezing the shoulder blades together. Find your breath. Got 10 more seconds here. You've got this, guys. Keep it up. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop down to the floor. We're going to go over to the other side. So starting on top of the elbow, make sure that shoulder starts over the elbow. One foot down on the floor, the other foot on top or behind. Hand can go on the hip, glutes engaged, shoulders back. And then really try to just lift this hip up here to create more of a challenging static position. We want to try and get that hip up nice and high. Keeping the glutes engaged. 10 more seconds. Make sure the hips are facing forward so you're not twisting around. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Cool. Take a little rest. We're going to just do one more bird dog, and then we're going to move away from our core and stability work. So just take 10 seconds. I certainly need it. Okay, coming into the quadruped position on your hands and knees. And let's go. So we're extending the right leg back, reaching forward with the left hand. So let's go. Trying not to collapse into the lower back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, last 2, 9, and 10. Good. Hold on, guys. That concludes our core and stability work. Okay, good job today. Hopefully you're feeling more mobile, more connected in your body, and I hope to see you soon.